Rise. Judge Vanderbeek Court is now in session. Case number JVB 1013, case of the Jacksons.
Thank you. You all may be seated. Okay. Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
You brought this case before the court.
I did.
Okay, what's going on?
So, James and I split about a couple of years ago, and it's been pretty good. We've been splitting costs for our girl, but her last birthday she was 8 years old, and we had a great party. I planned it. It's been a lot of time, and it was about $1,500.
How, 8 years old?
Yes. Well, okay, she really likes ice skating, so we rented out the ice skating rink, and then Tara Lipinski came and did a little routine for the girls. It was a lot of fun. But anyways, it did cost something, and James just refused to pay it.
The courtroom quiets as the judge takes her seat and calls the room to order. Miss Jackson steps up, ready to present her side. She explains that although she and James have been co-parenting peacefully since their split, a new disagreement has brought them back to court. The issue? James refused to chip in for their daughter's $2,500 birthday bash. The judge, eyebrows lifting in surprise, immediately questions the hefty price tag and wants answers. Who decided a celebration needed to cost that much? Why it hits? This opening pulls the audience straight into the drama, framing the conflict with a jaw-dropping number. It builds immediate tension and curiosity over who's responsible and how the judge will ultimately rule.
Whose idea was it? Wait. How much was the birthday party?
$1,500.
Whose idea was it to have that expensive birthday party?
Tierney brought up the whole inspiration for it. So I just kind of, looked at what past birthday parties we had gone to, kind of the expectation was set at a certain level, and yeah, so I did ask James for certain input, and he did not give that, so I just took that as I have to parent up.
So you want him to pay child support now?
Yes, I think this is kind of it's changing up the dynamics a little bit, that he wouldn't even pay for a little bit of her birthday party. So she's getting into ballet. There's recitals coming up. There are other things coming up, and I'm just nervous that she's going to see that imbalance in our relationship, and it's going to cost something.
But you're creating the imbalance. $1,500 for an 8-year-old birthday party?
That doesn't...
Miss Jackson steps forward to defend the $2,500 price tag, explaining that she was inspired by Tara Linsky and other lavish parties they had attended in the past. She admits James never offered his opinion or any support, so she took matters into her own hands. Digging deeper, Miss Jackson reveals her bigger fear. If James won't contribute to a birthday party, what happens when bigger expenses come up, like ballet recitals or school trips? She worries that their shared parenting duties are starting to feel one-sided. But the judge isn't convinced. Calling the $1,500 price ridiculous, he pushes back hard, pressing Miss Jackson to explain why she thought such an expensive celebration was even necessary, why it works. This moment raises the emotional and financial stakes, showing Miss Jackson's growing frustration while dialing up the tension with the judge's tough questioning. It keeps viewers glued, eager to see how the final decision will unfold.
That doesn't sound... It sounds bad when you say it out of the context, but that's normal.
No, within the context, that is ridiculous.
That is normal.
No, it's not normal.
Susie had a birthday party that cost $2,000,
so you're trying to keep up with Susie?
Well, I didn't do $2,000. I could have done $2,000, and I think I kept it at a reasonable cost. Wait a minute.
Pause. Can you speak some reason to me?
I would love to try, Your Honor. I am more than happy to help our daughter celebrate and live her life, but there comes a point where it's just, it's frivolous, it's opulent.
I agree.
I would have been fine going halfway down the middle of just like paying to have some kids to the skating rink But we did not need Tara Lipinski there. I thought that you were joking when you said that, which is why I didn't respond.
I do not joke. And you know how...
Excuse me. Last time I checked, I was the judge. So I would like for the two of you to address me.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sorry.
You're welcome. You did not need Tara there.
Tierney really wanted her, though.
Yeah, but Tierney is not paying $1,500, is she? No, and it's absolutely ridiculous that you have the expectation of him to pay that when it was your idea. That is ridiculous. And you came to court today to ask me to do what exactly?
I just want in the future to make sure that there is a balance in our relationship.
I'm going to ask you again. What is it that you came to court to ask me to do?
I would like him to pay child support.
Well, I would like for you to not spend $1,500 on a birthday party. The 9-year-old, when she turns 9, no $1,500. When she turns 10,
Thank you.
no $1,500. I mean, that is absurd. And then you want him to pay you child support because he did not want to go in with you with this ridiculous amount of money you spend on a birthday party. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. I'm not going to have him pay child support based on that, and you guys have been sharing custody. So I'm assuming when the child is with you, you cover the expenses for the child, right?
And it's usually really amicable. It usually works really well, but...
James stood firm on his support for their daughter, but drew the line at the idea of a $1,500 birthday party, calling it over the top and unnecessary. He made it clear he believed a simpler, more modest celebration would have been perfectly fine, and that hiring Tara Linsky was an unnecessary splurge. The judge agreed, siding with James and ruling that the extravagant party wasn't a valid reason to demand extra child support. When Miss Jackson tried to justify the expense, the judge shut her down quickly, stressing that while she's free to spend her money as she sees fit, James isn't obligated to fund those choices. Why it works. This scene zeroes in on the heart of the drama, with James standing his ground, the judge delivering a firm, no-nonsense verdict, and Miss Jackson's arguments falling flat, raising the tension at the perfect moment.
Well, it sounds like she probably put herself in the hole with that $1,500 birthday party and is trying to recoup some of the money from it because you were trying to keep up with Susie paying $2,000, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm not going to do it. And I cannot believe you actually filed this in court and asked me to do it for those grounds. Yeah.
I see that there's no weird issue with this thing. Okay.
Well, it's just, I'm happy to help. I'm happy to step in and help our daughter pursue her interests. If she wants to do ballet, sure.
Ballet makes sense. Ballet is an activity.
Right.
If she chooses to do ballet in school, I mean, it's an educational activity as well. But I am not going to order anybody pay child support based on a $1,500 birthday party. And you guys share custody. Who pays health insurance?
We both do.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing you guys should be doing. Maintain your own individual health insurance, but no, he is not going to pay child support for that reason. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Is there anything further?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Okay, is there anything further from you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm glad. If there's nothing further, you both are dismissed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The judge, calm yet firm, announces her decision. James will not be required to pay for the birthday party expenses. She fixes her gaze on Miss Jackson and adds, wanting to celebrate. Your child is understandable, but lavish spending is a personal decision, not a shared responsibility. She underscores the importance of responsible choices and cooperation in co-parenting, reminding both parties that it's not the court's job to regulate how much parents choose to spend. With her message delivered loud and clear, the judge brings down the gavel one final time, bringing the case to a definitive close and dismissing both sides.